All right, boys and girls, so let's talk about what the reading might look like on our CBA tomorrow. The first thing I want us to talk about is the author has a purpose for writing this book. So when we read a fiction story, we're typically going to see, like the Dunderheads, for example, they simply wrote this story to probably entertain me, not to persuade me to be nice to my students, not to persuade me to go grab all these students up and do something cool with them with my talents. But it was simply just to entertain me about some students who had unique gifts. There we go. If we think about the book Gecko right here, they wrote that book to inform me about something. I think the author's purpose was to inform us about how they survive and all their different ways that they have survival skills. The parents over at Puerto Rico, to teach people the importance of protecting wild animals, and there's text evidence to prove that. So one thing I really want you to think about is, why does the author write this story? Was he trying to entertain me, persuade me, change my mind about something, teach me about something, or inform me about something? The other thing I want to talk about is author's message in a fiction book. The author writes a story for a reason. He wants me to learn something from those characters. Think about the book, The Other Side, that we read. And we said, don't be afraid to make friends with the people that are different than you. The color of someone's skin, it doesn't matter. So we could think about all the actions in this story and what could I learn from these characters? What do these characters teach me that I could apply to my own life? Let's see. Also, I want to talk about summary. We haven't hit summary super hard, but you know what a summary of a story is. It tells me the beginning, the middle, and the end. I have to know what's going on in the story, who's in it, what's happening, but I don't want the details. Like if I was doing a summary over this story, I wouldn't put a detail like she stared out her bedroom, she stared out her living room window, or I wouldn't put a detail like she had on a yellow dress, or she had on a yellow raincoat. Like those would be details that are not important to my summary. So a summary, I want to make sure that I am telling beginning, middle, and end without too many details. So if you're working on that summary, think, did it tell the beginning, did it tell the middle, and did it tell the end? Maybe the problem, did it tell what's going on in the big problem, big idea in the story? The next thing I want to talk about is when you have a vocabulary question. It is so important in the 4th grade that you are using a dictionary. Some of us, I talked about in another video, have the online dictionary, and some of you have a paper dictionary. If you're at home, you may have to use that online dictionary for what that word means, and that's okay. But it is important that we're using a dictionary in the 4th grade. It's a cheat sheet. Use the cheat sheet. And the last thing I want to talk about is connect. I talk a lot about how I connect to books. Maybe it's a certain part of the book, or maybe it's the whole book, but we have to connect to a story somehow to make it personal. If I had to talk about The Other Side and I had to make a connection to this book. I remembered when I moved to a new town and there was a lot of Hispanic people in the town, and I became really good friends with all the Hispanic girls. And it was different for me because coming from East Texas, we didn't have as many Hispanic people. And so it was a change for me. Another book that I connect to is I Need My Monster. I connect to it because Bailey and Barrett both have a special blanket they have to sleep with, kind of like the little boy has a special monster he has to sleep with. So the connection can be simple or it can be big. Maybe you read a story and you connect it to another story. Hey, I connect this story to a book we read and they're the same and they connect like this. So sometimes it's just a connection to another book. But we have to connect books to things in life. In our life, other books somewhere so that we're understanding what we're reading. And another thing is while you're reading, try to annotate the important things that are happening. It is important that you know what is happening and you're writing it down as you're reading.